What's up, everybody? Welcome to Toad's Cafe. I'm your host, Gabrielle Nevaeh, and this is my co-host,
Jailen Bates.
And we're here with the phenomenal actress, Miss Notlim Taylor.
Yeah.
What's going on, Notlim?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
Good. Thank you for coming on our podcast.
Of course, I love y'all. Y'all my favorite duo.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I've known y'all for a long time anyway, so it's kind of like, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Even in the industry for a while, too.
I've been working for like 13 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's most of my lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, yeah.
When I was 8, so like that's,
Wow.
that's why.
Wow.
Yeah,
So talk us through a little bit about like being a child actor and growing up in the industry. How was that?
I mean, it was fun. My dad's an actor, so it's not anything that I was like shy to do, if that makes sense. We used to do commercials in the bathroom with like lotion.
Oh.
And then TJ, which is my brother, he's an actor as well. Follow him on Instagram. It's Milton TJ Taylor.
Period.
Yeah.
Shout out TJ.
Hype the family. Yeah.
But yeah, we used to do like little commercials, and my dad would always be there every step of the way. Like he would do my hair. He would pick out my outfit. He would take my headshot.
Oh, we love a girl dad. Oh, Papa, the hair salon. He said, "Baby, let me get you right."
I mean, he's a barber, so he knows,
Okay.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
He does a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
He's got a mobile barbershop and everything.
What? Wow, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's dope.
Do you think he could shave some like lines in Jalen's head on the side?
let's not do that.
Well, how are you though? Like, how are you? Just jumping right into like the scary question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. I really wanted to talk about everything that's been going on in my life, really. I'm trying to be more transparent. Because, when you're in the industry, you're kind of just like, I'm fine, I'm good, everything's great. And it's not,
Yeah.
Everything has been really difficult to juggle because I'm stepping into more of my adulthood.
Yeah.
Because I'm 21, and now I'm like really adulting.
Yep.
Oh, you want to elaborate on that? What is that?
Yeah. So basically, let me see. To answer the first question, I'm okay. I'm 50-50. Some days are really, really hard because I have to handle like things at the house and help out financially. So I'm working 2 jobs now while we're on strike as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult at times, especially mentally. I've realized like yesterday, I almost passed out.
Yeah. What?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Are we not drinking water? Was
No.
it heat stroke?
What was it
What was it?
Well, I had a meeting that morning at work, and then I came home, and my family wanted to go to the beach, and I'm like, I'm really tired. I've had a long week. I've been working, and then my brother's birthday was this week, so I was, helping him so he wouldn't worry. But then I ended up going. As soon as I get in the car, I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, wait, I don't feel good. I need to eat. So we got me some food. Thought I was fine. Got out, walked around. And then as we were walking back to go towards the car, I, couldn't really walk. My dad had to, hold me up.
Oh, my God.
What?
Wow.
So, yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is the point where I need to rest. Because I feel it physically first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes mentally, sometimes it's just this cloudy kind of feeling up there, or sometimes I get like a thump as if someone's tapping my forehead.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is before you pass out. You feel this?
No, it's when I get really stressed.
Okay.
Okay.
And I had that right before I almost passed out, and I could feel it.
So do you
Talk
think that
about
was,
stress knocking on your door.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't.
So do you think it was
said, knock, knock.
stress induced?
I think it was lack of rest. I think it was stress as well, and then just being exhausted. Mentally and physically.
Do you find it hard to take care of and listen to what your body needs?
Depending on the situation I'm in. But I'm, trying to do what I can. It's just a lot, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot to balance, a lot to take in as well. Because so many people are telling me how they feel about certain things within the house, or it could be friends, and we've had family falling outs as well, which is really disappointing because I just discovered that I had 2 sisters.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
When was this?
I think. Let me see. It's been a year now since I found out, but I went to one of my sister's wedding in April. So I've been focusing on setting boundaries, especially with dating. because I just started dating. Am I being so
Yeah.
honest?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like how? Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Well, let's finish one thing first, and
Yeah,
then we'll
yeah.
jump into that. Because I do want to, if it's okay with you, ask you about the sisters. Does that relationship kind of weigh on your mental? Like,
Oh yeah.
how do you? That seems to me like such a difficult thing to deal with.
It's huge.
It's a huge thing, you know, to have a kind of a severed relationship with a sibling. I don't have any siblings, so I can't. I mean, Jailen's the closest thing that I have to a sibling. So, like, you know, just to kind of put it in perspective for myself, like, if, you know, Jailen and I weren't talking anymore, that would be really kind of devastating for me. So, how do you deal with I assume, the pain of not having a close relationship or having a relationship that isn't exactly what you wanted?
I don't really know if I've processed it 100% because part of me kind of was waiting for the disconnect to happen. Since I've seen it times before with my sisters, or if there wasn't a relationship at all, I figured, okay, it's probably going to dwindle away.
Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, I'm not mad at her. Like, if she were to text me and say, like, I want to talk some more, okay, like, that's fine. But I would just communicate how I feel about it.
Sure.
And how I want to move forward, because I can't keep being in the middle. I was playing telephone for her and my dad, and then her and my other sister. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So how hard do you find it to, like, set boundaries for that type of thing? Like,
or just in general. It doesn't have to be about that specifically, but boundaries in general are difficult to set.
it's a skill, almost.
It's honestly, a skill, yeah. And I feel like you're really well versed in that.
Oh, thank you.
Like honestly, I'm trying to get like you. You know, I'm trying to figure it out. Just going off of your question, Jailen, like, how difficult was that for you to kind of figure out?
First, mind you, I'm in therapy, so that's helping.
Okay.
When I don't always have, like, you know, the answers and everything. But I pay attention to how I actually physically and emotionally feel. Because it's hard to ignore that. I can feel it when I'm just, like, not okay. So the first thing I do is say, okay, like, what's causing me to feel this way? And is this something that's actually, you know, valid in a sense? Because it is. Like, your feelings are valid. But at the same time, sometimes you can assume things because of past instances.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, because of my past with my sisters, the disconnect, the not reaching out, I didn't really close myself off from getting to know her.
Yeah.
I just let her know, like, okay, this is how I feel about this, if we're going to move forward and continue to talk.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to already tell myself, it's not going to work out and we should just not even try. You know? So I just kind of set that boundary. So if we do talk, I'll tell her, like, hey, I don't really want to talk about Dad, for instance. Like, if you have anything negative to say, I really don't want to hear it. I don't want to have to play telephone again.
Yeah.
Or if it happens, sometimes I have to muster up the strength and the courage to say how I feel. Because it's a little tricky when you're in a condensed environment and you can't escape from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you're on the phone, you could tell someone you don't have to deal with them all the time.
Yeah.
But family members or just being in the house with someone, it's a bit difficult to do.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, because it's like you have no choice but to confront the issue.
Yeah. Over
you know.
and over and so.
Yeah.
Even that within itself, like, I've been told that I need to, like, prioritize me by the people I care about, and so hearing that reminds me to do so and proceed. But I think yesterday was a perfect example of, like, why I need to actually really rest, and I can't settle in any way with anybody, whether it be friends, associates, going out. Like, if I'm not having a good time, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Period.
If you don't want to really date me intentionally, I have to.
Yeah.
Shoot. Adios, amigo.
All right.
And sometimes that's really, really hard to do.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's good that you have, like, the strength to do that, because that's a lot. I mean,
it's very brave of you.
Thank you.
You know,
it's brave.
It is. It is. It's courageous, because especially if you're in an environment that's comfortable, it's hard to leave a comfortable environment and go out into the unknown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I, like, since we're just talking about the industry, like, career-wise, especially, you know, coming from a child star going into your adult life and your adult career, that can be super scary, you know, leaving an area that, you know, you were so used to and so that you were trained in, and that's your comfortable environment, and going into something that's like a black hole. Like, you don't know what's on the other side of it, but you know it's something because other people have done it. But you know, let me just jump on in here and see what happens. That can be scary, you know, and for sure. And that's really brave of you to be like, you know, it's, if I'm not comfortable, I'm gonna just dip. You know,
I mean, like, even on set, for example, I haven't had many, like, personal experiences, so it's part of the reason why I don't audition for very, like, sexual scenes or, like, roles.
Okay.
So
that's not what I thought you were about to say. I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure, why not? Yeah, that's fine. You 21, let's go.
The reason why I bring it up is because you said, like, sometimes you don't know how to navigate this, and it's hard to speak up, but I'd rather tell you before I even audition, I'm not comfortable with XYZ, so I'm not wasting your time. You know, so I'm not wasting my own, so I'm not put in a very uncomfortable situation, because it's hard to speak up and say that. But you have to think, like, okay, am I wasting these people's time? And is this actually aligned with my morals? Why do I feel so obligated to do this? So
and
that's why.
It's like the most powerful thing to say in this industry is no. Like, if you don't feel comfortable in doing something, and if, like, you feel like you're being taken advantage of, like, that is the most important thing to say. I
think so in life too.
Absolutely.
And how do you feel about saying no in life, or like sticking to the stuff that you believe in? Because I know, like, with us, I don't mean to speak for you, Jailen, but I'm sure both of us have been put in situations where it's like, I don't really want to do that, or that's just not my thing, you know. Like, I don't smoke or drink, but I have friends who smoke and drink, and of course, you know, at parties, those things have been offered to me, and when I say no, it depends on the person, you know. They're like, what do you mean you don't smoke? What do you mean you don't drink? You know, does that make you uncomfortable to say no? Because I know for me, I'll tell you no quick. I'll tell you no quick.
That's good.
You know, and I wasn't always that way, but I had to become that way as I got older, because, you know, as you get older, you're put in older situations, you know. So, I'm quick to say no, but does that make you uncomfortable, like, in social situations, to say no?
Not really, because if it has something to do with my safety, especially if I'm by myself, I'm going to tell you no. Like, if I don't want to, you know, drink that or whatever, I'm going to tell you no. And if you don't understand me, then I don't need to be around you. You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like, there's something, there's a disconnect there. So I don't really need to be around that person if they were to be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So,
the math is a math thing.
There's a thing about, like, having boundaries, and then people respecting those boundaries.
Right.
And a lot of times people don't respect those boundaries.
And that's hard too. So when you say no, you have to remind yourself, they may not get it. They may not comprehend it, is what I'm saying. Like,
and they might not care.
They might not care. So it's like, as long as you know that you have control of this situation and you can have a say so, then take advantage of it. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
So let's talk about a little bit about, like, you as a
little soda movement. Where we should be into?
It really is not that deep though, but like just like pressure as growing up as a child actor, because you were on Marlin when you were a lot younger. So tell us a little bit about that experience and how you're finding the journey growing up into an adult actress.
Can I just say before we dip into this, when I met Notlim, I'm gonna be completely transparent, since we're talking about transparency. I had not seen Marlin. I had not seen Marlin, but I thought it was so cool. No, it's not that. It's just I was 12, so like it wasn't in my arena. But I thought it was so cool to see another actress that kind of looked like me a little bit. I mean, but doing what I wanted to do, because I hadn't done I hadn't booked anything when I met you. So I thought, like, you were a real inspiration for me, and I was like,
oh yeah, we had that talk.
Yeah, we had a talk.
At some party.
Yeah, it was at your house.
Oh my God, yes.
What?
It was at your house, yes. And you
had a lot of things happened at that house.
We were at your house, actually. And Notlim, I don't remember, I was by myself or something, and Notlim came and talked to me, and she was like, basically giving me like the Black Girl Hollywood rundown.
Oh, yeah.
Before, because I had like no experience. I didn't know. I had just moved here practically.
Right.
So like I was like fresh, you know, fresh produce. And I just wanted to take a pit stop to say that Notlim was such an inspiration. Because I didn't know anybody else that looked like me. And she was doing what I wanted to do. So, like, it was like a very early version of my vision board.
I remember that party. Yeah.
That is the best compliment I've ever received.
Yeah, and you were like chill, like you weren't like the stereotypical like Hollywood, like you weren't always talking about work, and like you also weren't like standoffish, right. And like I
will always say you are probably one of the most genuine people I've met first like, in the industry. Like seriously, yeah.
So let's talk about Marlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't get no more praise. That's it. That's it. No, the rest of it is going to be, you know, outing you and... What did you say?
Wait.
Grilling.
Oh, that's not what I heard. I was like...
What did you think I said?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
Marlin overall was very, very fun. Mm-hmm. I remember, I want to say for either my birthday or Christmas, maybe both, he bought me Doc Martens. And he bought my brother something. I don't have a Oh, what you do? You have yours on.
Always.
So that within itself is what really stood out to me. You know, the fact that everyone was like, "We're a family. Come on!" Like, you know.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by so many black people.
Yeah.
Because all my
That's rare. That's rare.
In the South, so having that was nice. And I was friends with people in the cast. I used to talk to everyone in background. And that surprised me too. Some people said that people don't talk to them, and I'm like,
like background people.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
I used to think it was a rule that you couldn't.
Oh,
really?
Well, maybe on some
maybe on some sets, like, because I remember not to get off topic, but I did a episode with a bunch of kids as background, and they were like, "Don't talk to the kids," and I was like, "Okay, it's weird, but okay, I guess it must have been because they were kids, you know, and not that should matter, but like." So that we wouldn't get distracted, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Because we were super young at the time too, so they didn't want us to get off track. No. But that's cool. You talked to the background.
Yeah, so I just really had a rapport with almost everybody there. And
that's great.
You know, I got to invite some people to watch the tapings, and
that's fun.
I had filmed in front of a live audience before, so it wasn't really anything new.
Veteran.
She's like, I've done this. Like, this is chill. Ain't nothing special about this.
Yeah.
But it makes you realize, like, okay, I don't have to be perfect. They want to talk to me. They want to get to know me. Some people were asking me to give advice, and I'm like,
wow, yeah.
I'm 16. I don't really know everything.
Were you 16?
Yeah. I think when I started, I was like 14, 15.
We talked about this at that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, so we all just having talks. But it was a great experience. I think the only thing that was per se negative that stuck with me would be the shift between season 1 and 2, because season 1, it felt very family oriented. It felt like, oh my God, we're about to be this big black show, and you know, it's gonna be great, and we didn't really have a lot of advertisement. And then in the second season, we get there, and you know, it was more so focused on the adults and not the family aspect. Which required the adult actors to have more lines and more scenes, which meant that they couldn't really interact with us, which, you know, affected my my coworker and I, because he was younger than me. He was 9, I think, when we started. So sometimes he would come up to me and ask me, like, is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? You know, so as a kid, you don't understand the pressure that's on you as an adult to learn a whole page. Like 15 minutes. And Essence, who played my mom, Essence Atkins, she would learn that so fast, and I really didn't take offense to it because she had a good balance of saying, like, hold on, not right now, I'm doing something.
Right.
You know, so at one point it really did bother me, just because I felt like, well, what are we doing? We're sitting in the classroom all day, and then when we see you guys aren't really talking to us. But I understand it now.
That you're getting older.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it was great. Everything was great besides that.
That's great. I mean, we love positive set experiences. I mean, I'm sure we've all kind of had the not so welcoming experiences, but it's always refreshing when you do work on a set and it's like
great people.
It's chill, and it's like, you know, no minimal
No drama,
egos, you know, all of that.
Minimal.
I mean, there's always one.
One or two.
But
speaking
yeah,
of egos, have you ran into like difficult coworkers and people that like?
Thankfully, no. That like even Marlin, he could have had an ego, but he was very down to earth. The only thing I would say about that said is like I didn't feel like I had to kiss up. I'm gonna say that, not the other.
Yeah.
I didn't have to kiss up to him just because he was Marlon Williams and he was in White Chicks and all this stuff. I didn't even know what he did. Like I'm
crying, please.
Like,
are you serious?
No, for real. Like, when I was in the chemistry read, he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm like, "No."
Wait, he said, "Do you know who I am?" And you said no.
Yes, I would. True.
No, I remember when I auditioned for Marlin. Like
you auditioned for Marlin?
Yeah, I did. Like I did a few auditions.
You
for
auditioned for everything.
I could have been your brother, but I wasn't. But no, like my parents were freaking out in the car on the way. It was like, "It's Marlon Wayans," and they made me watch White Chicks. Yeah.
Did you? How far did you get with that? Just because I'm curious. I never.
It was
heard
like a producer session.
Okay, I've never heard this story ever in my life.
I didn't audition with you.
No, I didn't get to.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Could have been your brother.
Yeah, I didn't. I know he could have been my brother. I didn't really know what he did. I never really watched his stuff until I got older. But
yeah. That makes sense.
I'm glad I didn't have to fake it, and he didn't make me feel like I had to. Cause,
yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, he could say booger and everybody laugh, and then I would just sit there. I'm not even joking. Like, everyone would be laughing, and I'm like, he was like, "Was that funny?" I said no. Like, yeah. It wasn't funny to me. I was like,
but you know, people like that when people are honest and like kind of a little different, like from the rest. Yeah. That's good that you kind of knew who you were and you didn't like conform to like. Yeah. Because
I didn't want to.
You know, I know this is a real story.
Wait.
I know this is a real story, but it's giving. Like, and I don't know if I was talking to you about this, but like when somebody, I saw this on TikTok, somebody would meet a celebrity and they would act like they didn't know who they were. Like, no, you know who was telling me about this?
Who?
One of our friends said that one of our friends said that he would pretend not to know who Dove Cameron was. That way he would have a chance with her. Because she would think he was so different, like, he doesn't know who I am.
That works. I don't know if that's really gonna like.
That's not gonna no. Anyways, Notlim, would you like to talk about relationships?
Yeah, that's fine. Where do you start? The intro into that was just kind of like.
No, Gabby has these insane segues. Like
I see.
I'm sorry. Was that not? Should we talk about something else right now?
No, let's talk about relationships.
Okay. I mean, Jailen can go first.
Oh, okay.
What about the lack thereof?
Oh.
What? Oh, no. It's just I always prioritized schooling first. That's why. Well, you know.
I've asked you, and you're like, "I'm just focused on school."
Yeah,
all right.
And I took a very long hiatus from acting for school. Like everything that I've always done, I've first and foremost has been like schooling. Like I always wanted to go to a regular high school, and like when I was on set, I would homeschool. But so I never really prioritized having a relationship. Like if it comes, it comes. You know what I mean? But I've never like wanted to pressure force it, and because I never felt like I needed to conform to dude, you're like you're getting up there, and you're like you've never had a relationship before, and I'm like, no, I haven't, and I've never felt the need to, just because it comes when it comes. I'm like, it's like different. There's a timeline for everybody, and I don't have to be on your timeline. I don't have to be on anyone else's timeline but my timeline. No rush.
Yeah, because I feel like the worst thing is to like jump into something that you're not ready for.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to be honest about it. So, and not everyone has to do things by a certain age.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everything is like, hey, you should have this by this time, and it's kind of like, well, why have it if you're not ready for it and you can't handle it because you're gonna mess it up anyway.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. What about you guys?
Me? Are you looking at me? Both of y'all looking at me. Let's go back to not being ready for something.
Yeah.
I'll say that over these past, I'll say from like April to now, there's been like a lot of self-discovery. Mm-hmm. And I feel like God uses relationships to show you parts of you that need fixing. Yeah. Not fixing or like tinkering. Right. You know, we might need a little fix-it Felix going on in there. Mm-hmm. So I I had a little bit of that going on last year. I experienced a death of a very close friend, and that was like my first time experiencing death in a close capacity, and I didn't really know how to deal with it. So from like September 2022 to like, I'd say May of this year, it was like I just became like a very angry person. Really? Yeah, wow. And I had never struggled with anger. Like, I'm such a light, like my aura, you know, I'm not into that or whatever, but like my aura would be like yellow or light pink, you know, and I was very much giving like black and brown and deep red.
Wow. That's specific.
And seeing things at the same time.
Y'all on the same wavelength. Yeah. So like after I experienced my friend passing away, it was like all of the worst. Y'all are like background singers. Y'all are like harmonizing. I experienced like a shift in my own self. And at that time, I was in a relationship with somebody, and it was my first real relationship, like serious boyfriend, girlfriend. And so I was dealing with the big emotions of like discovering love for the first time and discovering, you know, like what does it really mean to like really like somebody and really like want to be with them, while also experiencing extreme grief, sadness, anger, confusion.
A lot. So those big feelings that were negative mixed with the great big feelings, it creates a mess. And I wasn't mature enough to communicate what I was feeling. And I always like to say anger's not an emotion. Anger's a mask. Anger's a mask for whatever's going on underneath. You know, it's a protective measure. So what was going on with me, I was really, really sad because of what had happened. And I was really confused and really struggling with how to deal with it. And at the same time, I was being really, like, horrible to my partner. Not because I wanted to, but because, like, I had such an intense love for my friend that passed away. The intense love that I was feeling for my relationship, in a way, kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, I see.
You know, so it was like even when I wasn't trying to be mean or nasty, I just was. You know, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why am I so pissed right now? Like, he didn't do anything like this, or like if something were to happen, like it would just blow up, like I would just like explode. And I'm not an explosive person, like I'm very patient. So it took me a long time to figure it out, but it was like God needed to put me in that serious relationship right after the grieving period to show me that I need to work on my patience, my maturity. I don't struggle with anger, but deal with my anger, and just deal with how to communicate my emotions better and in a healthier way than how I was experiencing that. So with the relationship, I thought it was funny that you guys mentioned like not being ready for something, because it was like I had been praying so long for, you know, a great boyfriend. You know, I want somebody to match the matching pajamas with and carve a pumpkin with, you know, or whatever. And I got that, but I wasn't ready for it. So I think
that's really mature.
You know, next time I'll be a little more prepared. You know, we studied for the test. You know.
That's a good analogy.
We studied for the test this time. It wasn't no pop quiz. But yeah, so this last one was just kind of a catalyst of self-discovery.
That's good.
Your turn, Notlim.
You passed the mic over. Okay. So I am dating right now. He's here in support of me.
He in the stew. We got the one person audience.
This is our first live audience. This is our first live audience.
Yup.
I mean, no, he's great. I mean, he's the second person I've ever dated, because I've been in talking stages and situationships and exclusive relationships, but no one really wanted to move with intention. It was always, I'm not ready for a relationship. I love you, but I can't be with you, and all these things. And I just kind of took everything I learned and tried to apply it to the next relationship. And I remember right before I started dating this new guy who's sitting right there, I said, like, ugh, I'm not dating anybody. Like, I'm over it. I'm not doing it. Somebody's really going to have to come along and do something different in order for me to change my mind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, no, I'm good. I'm not emotionally ready right now.
This new man, you said no?
Yes, I knew.
Oh, it's giving persistence.
No, he did persist, and then he was
Wow.
like, you know, okay, at least can I get to know you, and there's no pressure, and so we went to, like, hang out and go play mini golf and everything, and then...
Mini golf.
Wait, this the man you went mini golfing with?
Yeah.
Did I see that on your Snap story?
I don't know.
I sure did see that on your Snap story, because I was like, who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know him, but okay, Notlim.
Yeah, so, and then we kissed that day. But... I didn't think I could. I didn't think I was capable of that.
Oh, you're giving us a little details there.
I mean, you said you want to get it. Give it just a little bit.
You gave me the tea. You gave me the frog tea. That's what that was right there.
That cup is empty.
No, it's not. It's filled with Notlim's tea.
But we've been dating for like maybe a month or two. It's been nice. It's very different. And I'm surprised.
I'm really sorry. Jailen's like dying in the corner. He's like choking.
It's all good. We good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to take a breath?
Do you need some water?
Wow,
Okay, we
there
good. We good.
You
There's your
okay?
water, baby. Go ahead and grab that water.
I can't.
You can't
Oh,
see
shit.
that. You almost knocked out.
See, that's the problem. You were making fun of my cup having nothing in it, and then you started choking.
It did.
Well, listen.
Okay.
Anyways, let's continue now.
Yeah.
Because Jailen was very distracting, and I couldn't. He's like right in my line of sight. So
maybe
I was like,
maybe I should go like this.
oh, there you go. That's
yeah,
perfect.
So you don't see Jailen. No, he gonna still show up. But
Yep.
it's very different. I'm glad and I'm very thankful that my my experiences in dating, even though it's been very few, have been actually really nice. Because sometimes you run into some types of people.
So this first man that you went out with,
Yeah, the first guy. It was a great experience. It was a great first date. Like I said, I've never.
did you kiss him too on the first date? Don't
Yes.
answer that. Oh, that was rhetorical.
I did.
That was rhetorical.
Oh,
What was the
I'll be
answer?
honest.
She
I
said yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's fine.
glad-
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, so
Moving
it was nice, and I'm just thankful for both. But I just think that this time around, it's just I feel like I've met someone that does the same amount of giving and caring that I give out to people, and it's
Right.
nice to have that, especially with everything going on right now. So this new guy is very supportive, and
Yeah.
we spend time together, and I feel like I can be myself, and that's one thing that I don't feel like I've ever had the chance to experience, because I used to think like maybe I need to be a little bit fast, or maybe I need to change the way I talk, and maybe I need to look like this, and this new guy has never made me feel that way. I can be myself, and
Yeah.
so.
That's great.
I don't know.
We need the
Hallelujah, I
support
need that.
system.
Yeah.
We love a supportive
Yeah.
partner. That's like what we need.
Yeah, so we gonna see where it goes. We just seeing where it goes, taking our
You're
time.
glowing. Look at you.
Yeah.
Glowing. Oh, look at her.
She's happy. She's happy.
She's happy. So this wraps up this episode of Toad's Cafe. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Gabrielle Nevaeh.
I'm Jailen Bakes. Bakes.
Jailen Bakes.